What's up, America? This is your boy, Phillip Bufford, with Unplugged Magazine exclusive interviews. And tonight, we have a phenomenal individual. She's written books. She's impacted communities, not only within the city of Columbus, but also across the state and impacting things and people across the country. She's the author of the book Pieces, a booster story, as well as Becoming Terror. She has worked with organizations like the People's Justice Project, as well as Juvenile Justice Coalition. With no further ado, I would love to welcome my guest, the one and only Tammy Fournier Alsaada. What's up, girl? How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing right. I'm doing good. I finally got your name right doing all of this other stuff.
Excellent. I know it's a mouthful.
We had to do like 3 or 4 different practices, so I'm really excited. So listen, let's just really get into, who you are and what you do.
For sure. So again, I'm Tammy Fournier Alsaada. I'm a lead organizer with the Juvenile Justice Coalition, as well as the People's Justice Project. And what that means is we work with, on the juvenile work, what we've coined it as is a inside-outside strategy.
Okay.
So the Juvenile Justice Coalition works to affect policy as it pertains to youth who come through the juvenile justice court system and their families that have been attached in some way. So it may be through children's services, it may be through zero tolerance in schools, and we work to move people affected by that system into advocacy. Okay. So right now we're in this culture of people are making decisions about the criminal justice system as a whole.
Okay.
Oftentimes those decisions aren't made with people affected by the criminal justice system at the table. And so in our juvenile work, we work with youth and families. Many people have heard a lot about the school to prison pipeline.
Okay.
And what happens. What we know, not just in the state of Ohio, but nationally, what we've done through bringing resource officers into schools is situations that back in my day, back when we were younger,
right.
In school the parent was called. Caring adults came in and tried to resolve a situation.
Yes.
Now what we found, and it's not unique to Ohio, but it's across the country, is now that we have resource officers in schools with our children and with administrators, is the go-to solution is to turn it over to the police officer in the school. And police come from a mindset of policing. And so what we found in Franklin County, 75% of the cases that were working their way through the juvenile court system were charges from school. The majority of those charges were truancy and what we've labeled zero tolerance in schools, which could be a child was out of uniform or a child just wasn't following instructions during the class day, and it's become a charge.
Here's a question I have for you then. Has that move of shifting responsibility from calling the parents to calling police, has that been because parents are different? Now that when we were kids, that, as you brought up the point, if a child behaved wrong, they would call the parents. And now the police officers are in the school, so it's just been defaulted to the police. Is that been because parents are different, now parents are not parenting?
That's the myth that's out there, and I think especially when you think about in black communities, people want to put the burden of the blame on the parent and what a parent is not doing.
Okay.
And that's a myth. Okay. Our parents don't love their children any differently than they did when we were children. Do they have the resources to parent in a effective way? Those are things that we look at. There's enough resources available to get parents to those places that doesn't involve the court.
So the whole concept of the village coming together, do people really care in the community to really do that?
Oh yes, most definitely. People care, I would say, even at higher levels than they did when we were children.
Really?
Oh, most definitely. There are so many people at the grassroots, I call them boots on the ground, that this place is an example of that are doing what they can do to engage with their community. Now, do they have enough resources? Do they have enough support from systems of government and the school system and all these other systems that exist in our community that oftentimes get the majority of the resources when we talk about community engagement? I would definitely say no to that, and that's part of my work as an organizer, is to try to get people in different tiers of systems and community to understand that. So we can't continue to fund and invest in these massive systems of institutions, and we don't invest in the grassroots people that are on the ground, that person that would stand on the corner and watch kids come home from school. We don't educate and empower them to play the role that they're already playing. And I think that we don't often give them enough credit. I've been fortunate enough to be doing this work for years in Columbus, Ohio, and really across the state and the country. And I just returned from Oakland, California with some amazing people. Every community I go into, there's some amazing church ladies and young adults that are caring. The thing that inspires me most is that they're students that are realizing that they have a stake in and a say in, and they need to be weighed in with their, they're going to be our future. And so what's inspiring to me in my work with the People's Justice Project is many of our young people are stepping up, and they're realizing that they must be engaged to help build the community that we want to have and we want to see. And so definitely, I definitely want to dispel that myth that people aren't involved. They are.
But with that being said, what we're going to do, America, is we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some more. We're going to talk about events and things that are happening right here on the ground with the one and only Tammy Fournier Alsaada. And this is your boy, Phillip Bufford, Unplugged Magazine exclusive. Don't go nowhere. Keep it locked right there. Smell this.